Did you know that people make up their minds about you in just 7 seconds? That's less time than it takes to say, hello. In those 7 seconds, your tone, body language, and choice of words already start influencing how someone sees you. Now imagine using this power to persuade others in everyday conversations, whether at work, with friends, or even at the grocery store. Here's the thing, most of us think persuasion is something reserved for politicians or salespeople. But it's not. In fact, studies show that we persuade others more than 200 times a day without even realizing it. From suggesting a restaurant to convincing a friend to try a new hobby, persuasion is everywhere. The secret? Knowing how to use a few simple strategies that can make you seem more confident, trustworthy, and likable. In this video, we'll dive into how you can become more persuasive in your daily life. You'll learn how to control the power of silence, use the magic of words, and even how to turn a no into a maybe. Trust me, once you know these tips, you'll never look at a conversation the same way again. Chapter 1. Master the power of your pause. In a world where everyone is in a rush, we often forget the power of silence. Did you know that the most persuasive speakers are also the best at pausing? When you take a moment before answering, you give your words more weight. Pausing creates anticipation and makes people pay attention to what you say next. It's not about speaking faster or louder, but about timing. Research shows that people perceive those who pause as more thoughtful and confident. Studies suggest that silence can be as powerful as words. Think about the last time someone took a pause before answering you. It probably made them seem more wise, right? Pauses also give you a chance to reflect and deliver a more thoughtful response. Pausing is also a tool to manage your emotions. If you're about to react impulsively, a well-timed pause can help you think through your response. When you speak without rushing, it's easier to stay calm and in control of the conversation. People often get intimidated when you speak quickly, so pausing helps soften the interaction. You're more likely to be heard if you don't rush your words. In fact, a study from the University of Chicago found that pauses can make you appear more persuasive, even if your words are simple. The timing of your pause is just as important as the words you speak. If you pause too long, it might feel awkward. But the right pause can turn the simplest sentence into a powerful message. When you pause, it's not just about the silence, it's about how you use it. A study by the American Psychological Association found that people listen more intently when there's a brief pause after an important statement. So, next time you're in a conversation, try to speak a bit slower and pause more often. It might feel unnatural at first, but it's a technique that effective speakers use to build rapport and influence others. Chapter 2. The art of subtle mirroring. Connecting on a deeper level. Mirroring is more than just copying body language. It's about creating a connection that feels natural. When you subtly mirror the person you're talking to, you create a sense of trust. Humans are wired to feel more comfortable with others who behave similarly to them. According to Dr. Robert Cialdini, author of Influence, we are more likely to say yes to someone who mirrors our behavior. This is because it signals a bond and shows that we're on the same wavelength. Mirroring doesn't mean copying every gesture, it's about matching the energy and tone. If someone leans forward in a conversation, you can mirror that by slightly leaning in. If they use soft gestures, you do the same. The subtlety is key. Too much mirroring can make the person feel uncomfortable or like you're trying too hard. One study showed that people felt more understood and respected when their conversational partner mirrored their body language. It's almost like creating a silent agreement between you two that builds rapport. Using mirroring is not limited to just physical gestures, it can be about matching speech patterns too. If the person speaks slowly, try to slow down your pace. This simple tactic makes them feel more comfortable and more likely to listen to what you say. People have a natural tendency to trust those who are similar to them. Studies in social psychology show that we tend to gravitate toward people who share our mannerisms or communication style. Mirroring creates that shared space without saying a word. The power of mirroring is so strong that it even affects our brain chemistry. Neuroscientists have found that when we mimic someone else's behavior, our brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This hormone helps us feel closer to others and increases our trust in them. It's like a secret weapon in persuasive conversations. Chapter 3. Turn no into maybe. Using soft persuasion. Getting a no can feel like a dead end, but it's actually an opportunity. With soft persuasion, you can turn a firm no into a more open-minded response. The key is to remain calm and not react defensively. Dr. Cialdini's Influence highlights the technique of reciprocity, which suggests that when you offer something first, people are more likely to agree with you later. So, if you get a no, try offering a different option or a compromise instead of arguing. Using soft persuasion doesn't mean giving up on your ideas, it's about presenting them in a way that leaves the other person room to reconsider. When you focus on the benefits rather than pushing your agenda, you can help the other person see the value in your suggestion. For example, instead of saying, "You have to do this," try, "What if we did it this way? It might save us both time." You're presenting a different option without demanding anything. You can also use questions to guide the person towards a maybe. Instead of telling someone why they should agree, ask questions that lead them to the conclusion you want. Questions like, "How would it help if we," or "What if we tried?" open up the conversation without forcing a decision. An interesting study by the University of Michigan found that people are more likely to change their minds if they feel involved in the decision-making process. Soft persuasion uses this to your advantage by making the other person feel like they have control, even though they're moving toward your suggestion. If you're enjoying these tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new strategy to become more persuasive. Chapter 4: The Invisible Influence. How listening elevates your persuasion game. Effective persuasion isn't just about what you say, it's about how well you listen. Active listening isn't just a courtesy, it's a powerful persuasive tool. When you listen carefully, you show the other person that you value their opinions. According to a study from the Harvard Business Review, people who feel heard are more likely to agree with you. Active listening makes your arguments more compelling because it demonstrates respect and understanding. Listening helps you find common ground. The more you understand about the other person's perspective, the easier it is to frame your ideas in a way that aligns with their values. For example, if you're talking to someone who values efficiency, you can highlight how your idea saves time. Active listening also helps you anticipate objections and address them before they arise. But listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding emotions. Dr. Daniel Goleman, in his book Emotional Intelligence, talks about how empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, can enhance persuasion. By listening not only to words but to underlying feelings, you can adjust your message to be more persuasive. Listening also builds trust. People are more likely to follow your lead if they feel like you understand them. A study by Gallup found that employees who feel their opinions are listened to are more engaged and productive. The same principle applies in any conversation. Listening increases the chances of getting a yes. Chapter 5: Creating Unforgettable Moments with Power. Words are more than just tools of communication, they're powerful forces that shape perceptions. Using specific, power words can make your conversations more persuasive. For instance, words like imagine, now, and you create mental pictures and make your message feel personal. In fact, research shows that the word imagine can increase the likelihood of someone agreeing to your suggestion by 60%. It taps into the listener's ability to visualize and feel the impact of your words. Certain words evoke strong emotions, and emotions drive decisions. Consider words like exclusive, limited, or free. These trigger a sense of urgency or excitement. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, scarcity and urgency are two psychological triggers that increase persuasion by tapping into the human fear of missing out, FOMO. But it's not just about choosing the right words, it's about using them at the right time. Timing is key when deploying power words. Words like, trust me, or, I promise, can be more persuasive when used at a moment when the person is already leaning toward agreement. Power words also help you sound more confident. The right choice of words can give your message authority. For instance, instead of saying, I think this idea might work, you could say, this idea will work. Confidence in language can make others believe in your ideas more. Chapter 6: Storytelling Magic. Weaving persuasion into every sentence. Humans are natural storytellers. Whether we realize it or not, storytelling is woven into every conversation. Stories help us connect on an emotional level, and emotions drive decisions. According to research by the Nielsen Company, ads that tell a story are 22 times more memorable than those that don't. The same principle applies to everyday conversations. When you tell a story, you're not just presenting information, you're inviting the listener to experience something with you. A well-told story can highlight your point in a way that facts alone cannot. Instead of saying, I think this is a good idea, tell a story about how this idea helps someone in a similar situation. People connect with stories, they're memorable and relatable. You don't need to be a professional storyteller to use this technique. The best stories are simple, relatable, and emotionally resonant. In fact, a study published in Psychology Today found that people are more likely to be persuaded by stories that elicit empathy. So, don't shy away from sharing personal experiences, even if they're small or ordinary. Storytelling can also create a sense of urgency or importance. For example, instead of just stating, "This is a good opportunity," you could tell a story about how someone missed a similar opportunity and regretted it. Stories create a narrative that can shift someone's perspective. By weaving storytelling into everyday conversations, you can persuade others not just with logic, but with emotion and connection. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tips on how to be persuasive in any conversation.